Thank you. Let's wake up, dummy. You gotta be in the right spot. You got me? You and me? Okay. Are we all set? I think we're all set. Can everybody hear me? You guys hear me okay? Am I live? Let me know if I'm up. I can't tell. I think I'm good. I was flipping out. Get the light in the right spot. Hair is all over the place. Title not have? Is my title not up there? What's my stream title? We're on live. Color palette subject. What is that? Oh. Okay, that's fine. Stream title went away. Well, that's weird. Let's fix that real quick, shall we? Make sure it's in the right spot. All right. I am live, and it was a mess. I was panicking a little bit because I got some fun stuff tonight. We've got some new emotes that I don't think are active yet, but should be soon, I hope. Benjamin Zeev. All right, first question, Ben. Do I know you in real life? And have I already said thank you for following if you have not followed, if you have followed already? If not, have you followed already? Oh, that shows one of my... I'm excited. Okay, where am I? What am I doing? I'm going crazy. Let's get the camera. Let's get the light in the right spot. Let's get the keyboard out of the way. Let's get the brushes open. I am a little bit spazzy right now, mostly because I just got a full suite of emotes from Bullet Betty. She's freaking fantastic, and I got to figure out how to do actual shout-outs. But since I can't necessarily do it super quick and easy, let's do it this way. She does pixel art. She also really likes Dead by Daylight. She's a huge sweetheart. She's an absolutely amazing person. Yeah. May have met at AO. It's not striking me. You're gonna have to give me hints. Noah, you are here. Excellent, because so is Ham. And I was going to pull up your reference material real quick so I can see it live on my screen. D&D Minis. Hamilton. Alright, let me grab that one, because that one's going to be the best color reference. Make sure that is muted. Now that I've gone completely off the rails, let's make sure my webcam is focused properly, because that does not look right. Configure video. Why are you auto-focused at 55? Ridiculous. That's much better. All right. I apologize, I got this, the pre-stream started a little bit late. It was kind of like a quick pull of a trigger and then jumping in, but I was trying to do configurations in the background, get some files uploaded. I don't know why it's not showing up for Noah, because you are a 3-month subscriber. So you should have the little 3-month subscriber badge that's between the little crown and the little camera on my text right there. That is step 3 of that badge. The rest of it is extra awesome. Oh, awesome, Benjamin. I have not. I live in Western Mass, and the last and only time I went to Alpha Omega was to pick up some spray cans from Oz. Cacao, you do have a badge. There you go. Why doesn't Noah have a badge? That doesn't make any sense. That's the little phoenix egg badge. That phoenix gets bigger the longer you're subscribed. Ah! Why for you have no badge? Because you have a founder one, so you have that first thing, which is important. But I don't know why you don't have the... It says, if I hover over your name, it says 3-month subscriber right on it. If Cacao's one, then you gotta be one too. Okay. Let's get down to business here. Hemi. So, thank you guys, everybody for showing up. I super appreciate it. How has your week been? Welcome to the workshop for this evening. We are going to be painting a D&D character figure for Noah, who's in chat currently. And let's get started, shall we? It's okay, Ben. No worries. Do you prefer Ben, Benjamin, or Zeev? Because I would like to address you as you prefer. Okay. Let's see. We are gonna go. Let me get the largest of my good brushes out here. The largest of my new brushes. Get this one ready. This is the Artist Opus Series S. I love these brushes. They're fantastic. Thank you, Dad. And then let us get into some good base coats. He's got some interesting pants, and I don't see the coat. Would you like the coat and the pants to basically match? You've got that kind of dusty beige gray. Okay, Ben, I think we'll stick with Ben then. But what I want to do, what I really want to do is start with the skin tone. I know you wanted them to be slightly different than what I've got there. So let's start with... let's go with the tanned flesh, and we will give that a wash, and then we will do a highlight or a stage of barbarian flesh on top, perhaps an extreme highlight with a mix or something. Pardon me, something from the Vallejo line. But we're gonna start with this one, this tanned flesh here, and we will get going. I noticed something interesting about... Oh, it's not very well mixed. I noticed something interesting about this mini. It's primed, and the way I found that it's primed is I was checking out for any sort of sprue remnant or miscasts or anything, and I noticed that there's a tone change underneath the jacket in the back and underneath the pants there. You can see that it's unprimed on the inside. Thought that was interesting. Oh, we need to do it like this. Make sure that's properly mixed. Thoroughly and properly mixed. Yeah, no, I don't know why you don't have the 3-month. You really should. You've got the first badge, which, you know, other people don't have. But... I don't know if I'm liking this one. I mean, it does kind of sound like we just walked into a village in Final Fantasy. Guess I'll keep it. My goal with this stage is to make sure that this paint is smooth. It's pretty much always my goal, but it is a base coat for skin tone, so if you start making this chunky, you will see it throughout the rest of your layers. So let's be super careful and make sure this goes on nice. Got the little open shirt going on. I don't know. It says my emotes were pending review, so I guess there needs to be some sort of check for it. Make sure I own the images or whatever, I own the artwork, and I purchased it fair and square, so hopefully they don't do anything weird, and we'll start being able to have custom emotes soon. Is it? Let me turn that down. Is that a little better? I don't hear it in quite the same way as you guys do. It's pretty loud on my end, but Now, are these, he's not wearing gloves, right? Those are just the cuffs? Or does he actually have some gloves on? I would imagine it'd be difficult to play with gloves on. Yeah. I didn't know that there would be a approval time for my emotes, and I'm hoping that that approval time doesn't take an excessive amount of time. I was really hoping you guys could have them for this evening. I was getting real excited to see them roll through chat. Because they're ridiculously awesome. Anyway, how is everybody doing tonight? I myself had a fairly chill Tuesday. We had dinner a little bit late. And then grabbed some stuff from next door. Our neighbor is amazing. And Tess was wondering... She had an exercise bike in the garage, and she was wondering if she could purchase it from her, as it was not being used. She said, well, why don't you give it a shot and see if you like it, and then you can talk price afterwards. Tess has been doing her best to maintain some exercise, and she's looking for other ways, which is fantastic. Our road can get a little busy, so, and the bike paths in the area are basically packed all the time at this point, which is totally against social distancing, and half the people don't wear masks anyway, so. We found a stationary bike to play around on. Trying to be real gentle in and around the neck area. I want to make sure everything looks good. Ooh. That sounds like fun, Ben. A buddy of mine is really big into those dust minis. I know he's been painting a whole chunk of them. We were doing, before quarantine time, quarantine while, we were doing a Wednesday night hangout and paint night over here in my basement, and he was doing Blood Bowl, but he was talking about working on those guys in the meantime as well. He'd gotten some more practice in, and then he was like, now I feel like I have to repaint all of them. What color is your shirt, Mr. Ham? Where did I put that? There it is. He definitely has a white shirt. Yeah, it's been a long time since I looked at the first minis I ever painted. I don't think I have them anymore, to be perfectly honest. So I know he has a white shirt. And I should do it with a base coat of this white, but I was also thinking about doing it with the base coat of the gray that I usually use for white shadow. However, I'm going to use this white, which is a little bit off-white, and then we could do some highlights and some shading and some stuff on it, which should be pretty awesome. So this is the Citadel base coat Wraithbone. He's got some extra belts going on down there too, huh? Or is that just a rumpled shirt? It looks like it might be belts. I'm going to do the white undercoat anyway, just in case. Green might save you time. If you can get some. I would imagine if they're going to be primarily green anyway, it might be a good start. This is Noah's half-elf bard. His name is Hamilton. He goes by Ham. I'm just trying to make sure that the white coat here is very smooth. Oh, I need to check my Discord real quick because Noah gave me a really good description. Okay. Skin color, got it. Light skin, yeah. Hair black, eyes head, got it. White linen shirt. Light neutral pants, we can do a tan or a beige, I think. Dark leather, metal knee pads. Oh, I can do a Robe of Stars, Noah. You saw the inside of his coat. I can do that. I can do it. Sword, here, lots of catch fire. Fire motif on the sword. Alright, let's see what we can do with that, because that'll be fun. And let's get into... Half of that was my knuckle cracking, and then the top closing on the bottle. That was kind of gross. Let's see... We're going to have some fun with the pants. I think we're going to do the pants base coat in leather brown. As you had said that... Is my lighting good? Is Is my lighting good tonight? Alright. Awesome. Excellent. Let's see if this looks correct. Almost immediately, hand to the paint. Is this, hey Noah, this right here, this bit, I'm going to do a little line on it. This right here, is that shirt or is that belt? I was having a little bit of a hard time figuring it out. Because it looks like you've got some armored leggings going on here. You've got a plate under this. Hip pad. Yeah, it's probably from whatever armor you have as an under layer under the coat. I found your buttocks. Either that or that's a... Ooh, under the coat's going to be interesting. He has a coat that acts like a big old cloak. So getting some of the details under here is going to be very tricky. But we will do our best. My view? Which view? The view of me? My camera? Hopefully we're focused properly, and hopefully I'm not losing too much detail with the camera here. Oh, totally confused. Cloak. I love some of the images for this Robe of Stars, just as a note. Some of these are super cool. Yes. I'm starting to get an idea about how to do this. Put that there. Put that there. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to add these to the subject image rotation. So hopefully you guys will be able to see those show up in a moment. I really like the idea of the like red sort of red dwarf stars around the edges and stuff. So we're gonna work a little bit more. I want to make the pants look better. Where's my Discord? I need that I need that description again. Warm brown riding boots, white linen shirt, neutral brown, light neutral pants, dark leather, metal knee pads. All right, let's get some dark browns. I'm going to start with the brown boots as well, but I'm going to do a really dark color on them. We're going to start with charred brown and bring it up from black. Charred brown is my workhorse for a lot of different things. Yeah, the reference pictures, some of them Noah sent me, some of them I looked up, just as some thought on the character. The handle was just getting in the way. It had to go. Getting in the way of me looking at it, getting in the way of what you guys could probably see. I need to find a better, like, grip for holding these guys. Well, he's just black right now, but we're working on it. We're working on it. It's mostly just black. But he does have some riding boots, which are going to be nice and brown. Some horse riding boots. Trying to make sure you guys can actually see him, that he's in camera the whole time. Well, hopefully he won't pass through the realm of miniature painting where I hate him briefly. We're looking just to finish up some base coats, and I'm trying to make sure that the coats are smooth so that we can get some more characterful layers on top of that. It doesn't take too much. Thank you, Elizabeth. He's not remotely close to finished. And I feel like we're going to have a lot of fun on the coat, so I'm trying to get a lot of his sort of, I don't want to say simple, but his kind of travel-worn gear dealt with moderately quickly so that we can get on to the real fancy stuff. Because I feel like his coat is going to be amazing if I can do it right. These are all just base coats. Just being sort of gentle with the application of it. So anything leather I'm going to do in this charred brown. Are the knee pads, they look like metal plates. These bits up on the thighs, I was thinking about just doing in leather, if that's okay, Noah. Yeah, we certainly do. We certainly do, Leona. So that's definitely some armor. See, the nice part about working from the core of a miniature outward in layers is that you know you're going to get paint on the stuff that's between you and that inner layer. So don't worry about it. Just get in there, and if you do it in the middle, and then when you paint the layers above it, you cover up anything that got on the figure in that spot where you don't need it. And if you're careful about it, you can make sure that you don't get anything back on the layer underneath. Cool. Okay. Hip pads and leather is good, because I think that's where we're going to go. I believe that's probably going to look the best. Hey Elizabeth, do you play D&D? Does Noah got you into it? Or did you have any interest prior to that? I feel like it's a really nice mental exercise. It can help you get into the mindset of somebody else with a different perspective. And any sort of activity that helps you sort of develop the ability to see things from a different perspective is always useful and healthy, in my opinion. have to go back under and do a little bit of touch up. As a note, from somebody who's actually worn Spaldrons and Greaves and stuff, I hate those straps. Those are my least favorite straps. The ones that go like around the thigh. Your thigh is a pretty big muscle, and those straps are never properly cinched. As soon as you start running or moving around or doing something like that, that's pretty much the end of them being in the right place. And mine wasn't even like real armor or anything like that. It was costume armor, so. That may have been why they constantly shifted, but because I am no armor smith. And I am only in the amateur category when it comes to stitch work, so I get back in there and do some detail touch up around those pads. I feel like the violin can also be done in a dark base coat just to start, so we're going to do that. I'm feeling like maybe I should have put a primer coat on, because it's almost as if whatever they're sealing it with doesn't kind of stick to the paint as well. But I'll work with it. We're fine. I do like the fact that he's got the bow on his back, the violin bow. Like, that's awesome. Also, the bow is huge, by the way. You can let me know if Dummy starts looking around at other things in my room. I asked him to focus properly on me, and we'll see what happens. Gotta be careful up around the head of the violin, because I want to make sure I can get the strings. I gotta get some color on those later. So I need to make sure that those are smooth coats. Let's get his belt buckle. So this bit at his midriff, Noah, that looks like more straps. Is it more straps? Like right through here? Should I be making those a belt color, or is it because it would also work as kind of a rumpled shirt, like where you had it kind of tucked in. It is more straps. Okay. Is it so you could make the excuse that he's a strapping young half-elf? Not really. I'm just doing base coats right now. Is my image that blurry? I mean, he does have black hair. Yeah. I suppose that's true. Oh, I do like that we have some violin music in the background with Pretzel. Oh, you know what? I did that wrong. Let's make this all browned up because we got to make sure. Yeah, the bit that's up is the string part, or the part that draws along the strings. What do they call that part of a bow on a violin? I don't know. I don't know what the parts are called. The individual pieces of a violin bow's anatomy. The part that's usually made from some sort of tendon of an animal that drags across the strings of the violin. Bow hair? Okay. Where did I... Oh, paint case. Where is my black? It's right there. Gonna go in and... Whoa! Apparently I didn't close that all the way. Look at that. Huh. Interesting. Let's make sure that that's nice and tight and give it another good shake. Here we go. So I did get a couple of new followers that I am super happy about. I just want to give them a quick shout out. Amy Babes, Dan, Sune, Medium Dry White, Dr. Tentacle, Megan Hain, D Knight, Flocks and Socks, Donny Gamer RPT, Coyote Stark, Crumpien or Crump N, Mike the Potato, Steve Summoned, Always His 78. Brush for Hire obviously gave me a cheer last week. Those folks, happy to have you on board. Thank you so much for the follow. Again, I super appreciate it. It is not required. It is definitely appreciated. If you feel that the channel is worth coming back to, again, it's awesome. It's nice having folks to chat with, and I will never begrudge the company. All right, we're gonna grab the flesh wash. I'm gonna put him right here for a second. Yeah, self-capping paint. See, Improperandi, you have it. Dad, you have it. You guys both have my 3-month subscription, but the people who were founders, like first on, have the first badge, so it's a little bit different. You might be getting towards 4, but yeah, those are my new 3-month subscription badges. Those are little hatching phoenix eggs. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep, it does. The 6 months, it's popping out of the top of the egg. The 9 months, it's a little teeny baby phoenix, and then it becomes a big old phoenix. We're going to do a flesh wash on the flesh part of Hamilton. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I asked if it would be something that she could do, and she was like, yeah, absolutely, because she's awesome. She's 100% made of awesome. Now, if I don't know if you're in channel right now, but if you are, I would love to just plug Betty's channel again for folks who might not be familiar with her. Yeah, she's a busy one. She streams very frequently. So when my lazy ass isn't around, sorry about that, when my lazy butt isn't around, you can always watch her and hang out in her lovely chat community. Honestly, it's just a matter of, I don't know, like, I got to the point where I can do it. I can do it sort of on the fly. Not necessarily like on the fly, but I'm used to it, so it's not like it takes a whole lot of excess focus. I mean, it does. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm getting sort of all around myself here. What I have problems doing is paying attention to chat. Because chat can be tricky for me to be able to see chat going by and kind of pick up on it as it goes. It's not easy for me to get in there and do that. Where is my... I need this next, I think. Try and keep this mixed. If I'm just sitting down here doing something, I grab this particular paint pot and I shake it because it separates. The contrast paints are awesome, but they are very, very watery, so they separate pretty quick. Just going to do a quick dab of the Apothecary contrast on the white portion of his jacket. I mean, his shirt. It depends on the type of paint for one, and certain colors definitely have a tendency to run a little bit. You got to be careful with whites because they life drain. No, you got to be careful with any white paint because white paint is typically very, very, very thin, so it makes it really tricky. It makes it really tricky to work with because that's one of those colors that can be. Nope, that's correct. I wanted to give her another shout out. I know that she was streaming tonight, and if you guys get a second, pop over and follow her because she is an amazing person. Oh, the exercising, you're talking about that? Yeah. Are my emotes up? Can I... No. My emotes aren't there yet. I'm super excited to get the emotes done because they're amazing. Wait, what's going on? Oh. Naf, I'm sorry that you're not feeling well. Did I just put the strong tone down? I did, didn't I? No, that's my black. That's my flesh wash. I completely sidetracked myself. I wanted to get the strong tone taken care of it. Well, I'm happy you're here, Naf. Thank you. If you're not feeling well, don't feel obligated to stick around. I'd rather you be healthy than you know. I don't believe that these guys are going to riot or do anything weird. So it should be okay if you're not around. I'll have to trust the robot automod in the background. Yeah, it's true. She's out of control. I put him back on the handle like it was going to help, and it's just not. So let's get him off of the handle. Trying to do sort of a dark tone, strong tone wash in here to darken up the pants a little bit. Get some definition in the myriad of straps across his midsection, because we're going to go back and we're going to do those with a slightly different color as well. Trying to clear out some of the ink in the eye, because we're going to go back and try and do those later. I did have my black out here, a little bit of the black, because I was going to go in and touch up anything that I had accidentally gotten another color on while I was working. Also probably do a little bit of a base coat, because I noticed that I was doing a little bit of a run, so. But I primarily wanted to make sure that his hair was completely and properly coated. Does he have sideburns? Are these sideburns right here? They look like it. Just making sure I got all the way down the back. So the question about his hair, Noah, is he is it the blue black, or is it in the light, does it show up a little bit brown? So what are the highlights going to be? That's the question. Hey, Port. How is it going? Brown in the light. Okay, so I'll be able to use a little bit of browns for highlights. We'll try and make it subtle so it doesn't look like he's got brown hair, but it'll be definitely black. But I'm thinking like some of the tips, I might do slight brown. Very, very slight browns. Hang out here for a second, Mr. Ham. While... Oh, where is that? Where is that lovely, lovely... That's fine. All right, let me make sure his coat is completely blacked out on the top. Keep forgetting I'm not clipping him to that because it keeps getting in the way. So this we're going to do in a couple of layers while we're waiting for other things to dry. And make sure we have a nice true layer of a black pigment at the base to work with. And I am going to have some fun making it look like a Robe of Stars. I always look at my clock and it's always a little past 9 o'clock, so I always miss my stretch. I'm just terrible at getting that down. I miss my stand-up moment, like stand the heck up before you develop a hunch. To be honest, Noah, he may end up being a two-session figure because I'd love to get the Robe of Stars aspect correct, and I've got an idea on how to do it. And I mean, really, why wouldn't a magic item sort of conform to its wearer? It can change size. It can fit them magically. Why not adjust to sort of match the personality and style of a character? There's no reason why a Robe of Stars can't become a Coat of Stars. I mean, it makes sense, right? A magic item is there to enhance the character. And it's not like they're manufactured in standardized designs. So I think we're going to have some fun. Oh, you know what I need to do? Make sure I don't forget. I have to get all the way up and underneath the edges of his jacket here. Or at least I gotta try. Holy crap. Alright. That is not easy to get to. I'm wishing he wasn't mounted on a base. If he wasn't mounted on the base, I could just shoot straight up underneath. Oh geez, I just realized I asked Elizabeth if she played and then didn't look at the chat for a solid 5 minutes and did not see if she answered. I apologize. That was rude of me. Do you mind if I ask the question again? Do you play D&D, or have you played D&D? Cool. Is it her cup of tea, or is it a rare indulgence? I think in my head, I had an entire conversation thread in my head around that question. Thank you, Naf. That was a lovely link and very apt. Thank you very much. Basically what I'm doing now is I'm just going and I'm making sure all the trim and edges and things that will be other than brown are properly dealt with. Who was running it? Was it you, or was it somebody else? It does. It does have sprinkles. Brush for Hire is a very talented individual. I feel like I want to finish his skin first before I move on to this coat. I'm going to go to the Zero brush. So I'm going to grab this guy right here. Artist Opus Series S0. And we are going to get a little bit of that bronze flesh, tanned flesh color again. Bring it to a pretty fine point. Sure. I think that'll be okay. Not liking the way that tan flesh is working. Where is my flesh tones? Where are my flesh tones for Vallejo color? La 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 la. Bronze flesh tone. Doesn't look the same. Just seems super watered down, which I mean I can work with. I just not entirely sure it is coating properly. I'm trying to be super gentle with it. It's weird, we're already halfway through June. It's been odd. We're still primarily keeping pretty isolated. We actually had a friend go down to DC, participated in the protests and stuff, which I give them a tremendous amount of credit for, and they somehow managed to come back and test negative. trying to be real careful around the face. Faces have been... Sometimes I hit it spot on and I feel like they come out really, really, really well. And sometimes I hate them. So I'm trying to make sure this is the former rather than the latter. That's awesome. You mean the protesters were being responsible? I would laugh if the protesters caused less of an infection spike than the people who were like, I want to get my hair cut. Those impatient, selfish people. Okay, this is coming along. Now that we've got a secondary layer here. Let's see if I can get his hands to look better. Because I don't like the way the color is sitting on his hands. Trying to get across his knuckles properly. But yeah, again, I like that people can be responsible and friendly and care about other folks, because it is so needed now more than ever. Let's get back down and check out those pants and start working on the leather of the boots. I want to bring up sort of the middle bits. A little before I really... I'd like to get into some of that coat because I want to move that coat along because I think it's going to look great. So I'm going to go from that scorched earth to the beastly brown. I'm still sticking with the zero. The zero brush. trying to mostly kind of get this as the majority of this color for the boots. It's going to be a good highlight section. Trying to leave some of the grooves and little folds that I can see in the boots this darker color though. But I'm also going to try and make sure that I want his boots to be a little bit travel worn. So I'm probably going to go back over it with a dark tone shade and then hit it with some sort of dusty highlights like he's been walking around for a while. Like where there would be creases in boots. Anybody who's been around as an adventurer long enough to have a Robe of Stars has done a lot of walking. I'm trying to let the color kind of organically find its place on this miniature. Under his boots and stuff. Because there's a lot of little creases. And I don't feel like dry brushing it. I feel like I want to sort of paint in some of these grooves. Because there'd be a lot of spots on these boots where the creases have collected dust, so I think while some of these creases need to be darker, I might go in and do a little bit of a tricky highlight on some of them. And I don't want it to be like, I almost want it to be a little faded, so I don't mind on some of the wider spaces there being sort of a darker color that you can see under it. Like it's kind of faded unevenly. Maybe there was a time on the road where they camped out a little longer, they stayed in camp a little longer, and he had his boots off and they were just lying in the sun. And they kind of got a little bit of a fade on them. Toes have got to be scuffed up a bit. It's getting a little too close to the color of his pants, though I may have to figure out a good way to darken this up. I mean, realistically, I intend to lighten his pants up as well, so probably won't be an issue. Yeah, you mentioned that. I really like this track. What is this track? Oh, Betty's gonna help me make the page below the actual video feed awesome as well. She's come up with some panels, a panel background for things like where I can put in information and stuff. That's kind of like a little header. That's very cool looking. If it seems like I'm taking a long time on his boots, it's probably because by comparison, I probably am. But they're cowboy boots and they're very, very smooth. So it's one of those things where if I don't take a little bit of time to kind of give them some creases and folds and some wear and tear, they're just going to look like kind of like a big chunk of color at the bottom of his legs. I'd much rather have them be a little worn in places. Petrichor. Yes. Where's my dark tone? Was it the flesh wash or was that the dark tone? This was the dark tone, right? Yeah. I love that smell. I may need to make that as a D&D character. I don't know what it would be. Some non-human halfling grifter named Smeal. Always meant band practice was cancelled. I used to love it when it would do that, when it would rain before school got out, before high school got out, and I was walking home. I always found it relaxing. I like to keep the window open a bit. I still do. Hang out there for a minute, buddy. I need to get the belts that he's got. I might need to put him actually in the holder for this one. I'm just having trouble making sure the holder doesn't like get in the way. trying to get the straps of his armor bits on his legs. Lighten these up just a touch. And he's got a bit of a belt poking out right here that I'm going to try and gently hit with a little bit of a highlight. And I would like, I think, what did I use? What was that weird color? Was it desert yellow? I think it was. That was his pants. Oh, this one. Stonewall Gray might do well on his pants. But I think before I get to that, let's go back over to the number 1. And let's grab some night blue. And we're going to have some fun on his jacket in the last half an hour or so. So as you can see from that particular image that just kind of went past, I've got to bring it from black at the very top to a lovely shade of blue at the bottom. A very light, fancy shade of blue. Did Tess and Leona already log off? I've been kind of over-focused on this evening. I've been really bad with chat. And I'm going to feel really bad if I miss them saying goodnight. don't even know if you guys can see this slight difference in color at the moment. I'm really digging the selection that Pretzel is ripping through right now. Kind of a nice mix of piano and violin. Mm-hmm. Oh, just kind of skipped through. I think there was a little bit of a premature end to that track. Next up, that was Night Blue. Let's go with some Imperial. $72,020, but I'm going to touch it into a little bit of the Night Blue. We're going to kind of wet blend these suckers together and make this an interesting organic change in color. And I don't have to go all the way down to the bottom here. What I'm just trying to do is I want to pick up a couple of layers. So I'm looking for kind of the middle of things. We're going for a little, like a subtlety. We're doing subtle change here. A little bit at a time. Yeah, Tessa's a big Patrick Rothfuss fan as well. I have not started. I need to get into reading some of his stuff. She owns a couple of the books. I'm definitely going to get there. I just haven't had the, I don't know, the brain to sit down and do a good chunk of reading yet. See if I got this fade right. Okay, that was Imperial. Let's move up. Mix in, I think I'm going to do some magic glue. Just this one. And I'm going to have to mix that through as well, because I want it to be proper gentle switch. We're going for subtle. Subtle changes. Hey, Ace and Dragon, how's it going? I am attempting to emulate the colors of a Robe of Stars on a coat. It's a D&D item for this character. So right now we're working through a couple of stages of blue. How's life treating you there? Excellent. Excellent. If I remember correctly, it is very early in the morning right now where you are. Well, don't let your mom hear you say that. Oh, okay. So in the opposite direction. I misremembered. I apologize. Not sure yet. Not sure exactly what we'll be doing for the trim of the coat yet. But we will get there. Alright, I needed a lighter blue. So we're gonna go into, oh, that gets really, really pale. So should we go up to electric? I think that's the wrong shade, to be honest. But let's try it. So this is a very pale blue. I'm either going to use this one or start blending in some white, but we'll definitely get to the white soon. Make sure that's properly mixed in. Pick up a little from here. I'm going to mix it just a touch with this. So I can sort of tease it down a little bit. I think this track is a little bit too white noisy, so we may have to skip past it. But I'm kind of trying to focus, so I can't hit it just yet. We're just going to let the bristles kind of play over the edges, and I don't want to cover up the other layer of blue entirely, but I do want to make sure that we are getting into kind of an organic blend. Maybe even do a couple of swirls up higher. Now that there's not much paint left on the brush, I'm sort of just kind of giving a couple of little pushes, almost to make it look like light blue flames or something. Just kind of finding spots to give it a little bit more. Oh, Betty! Hi! Hi, everybody. Labaweedy, how you doing? Betty? Ms. God, how's it going? Fizz, how is it? Oh, I love... Glad to have you guys come by. Your egg is lovely. Your egg is lovely. We've got some of the 3-monthers here as well, which is great. Let's stage this up just a touch. I want to get the white. Where's the white? Oh, you'd think that of all the colors up there, white would be the easiest for me to find. Ooh. So are those the 1-monthers? I think those are the 1-monthers, which is awesome. And then we've got some of the 3-monthers in there. The 2s have the little cracks in them. Port's got the 2. I love those things. I love them. So I'm going to be careful with this white. And then I've got an idea. So I'm going to take some of this super pale blue, mix it with some of this white. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that color, but it's lovely. Ooh! Silket! Thank you very much. Thank you very much for swinging through. Oh, that's funny. You're like, hey, Betty's on. Wait a minute. Thank you for the follow, even though you were swept up in Betty's lovely, crazy raid. Did you win, Betty? I saw you were playing some Dead by Daylight. No, you ran out of things to do? Really? Uh-oh. I doth screwed up. Get out of there. Picked up a stray bit of brown or something in there somehow, probably because I didn't pay attention. I too quickly went back to chat before I confirmed that my brush was in the right spot. What time is it? It's almost 10 o'clock. It's very, very close to 10 o'clock. I looked over and it was 9:59. Usually I stop around now, but I don't really feel like it tonight. I'm actually kind of enjoying just chilling out and working on this guy's crazy coat. Occasionally you get a bit of a daub that comes off the brush, but in this instance it's actually very correct for this particular subject. I'm trying to get this blue as pale as possible down here. Oh. It's not even that late where you're at. Is it, Betty? Or are you an early riser? Do you have to get up early for work? Because that sucks. That always sucks, having to get up early for work. Ugh. I'm sorry, you should go to bed. Yeah, that's understandable. You guys are all up late or have worked your butts off. You have some well-deserved rest coming along. Sleep well, Inferatus. Sweet dreams. Thank you for stopping by, however brief it was. It's always nice to say hello. So the next thing I want to do here is we're going to get some purples. However, I think I'm going to take the purple quick shade because I want to see how this works. I haven't used this yet, and I'm very excited. Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to kind of move it around on the colors a little bit. Because there is definitely some purples in there. Oh. Hopefully you're still here, Betty, because Noah just get you. Noah's poking. It's true, you do. It is true. Trying to get that sort of flow in between these two colors. She got distracted. Oh, just you guys wait to see the... Wait until you see the emotes. Well, they haven't... I uploaded them, and it says pending approval, and they're awesome. They're so cool looking. So, it has these crazy red stars on it, and I was thinking that they need to happen on the collar. So, let's have fun with red, shall we? So what I'm gonna do first is we're sticking with the one brush. No, you know what? We need to go with a smaller brush. I need to make sure that this is very, very fine. Let's go with the 00 because we're working on his collar. So I'm mostly going to do kind of red spots, sort of splotchy little red spots. I'm going to do one big one on the very middle of the back of his collar here. Mostly looking for kind of a circle. And then we'll do a couple more along the edges. Like down here, it'd be hard because I'll see what I can do. I can definitely do twinkles on the cuffs. Don't worry, we'll get this. We'll get the white stars in there soon. We're not done just yet. I'm just marking out the spots where I would like these red stars to be. Because we're going to do a couple of stages up. Because those get to like an orange and then a white. What was the interview about? I meant to ask you that because you said you were done with your interview. Okay, Betty. Sleep well. Have a good night. Get some rest. Thank you for the lovely badges. And the emotes. We'll miss you. So I'm going to do a little trick when it comes to these red stars. Oh, is she... Are you gonna... Am I getting told? Oh. Betty is the sweetest person ever. Good night. She's trying to hit me in the feels before she leaves. I'm going to move on to the orange. This is a hot orange. So what I'm doing, I'm going to be cheating a little bit because I'm going to go in and I'm going to make couple of color spots on his collar, and they're just going to look like spots right now. But his collar is black. So what I can do is go into the black and then neaten up the edges. I'm gonna need my little bitty brush. It's going for the 000. So I kind of made a big spot, and that allows me to go in with the black and reduce that big spot to the shape that I want. Yeah, we've got that violin in the living room. And the bow is, I mean, this bow on his back is a honking big bow. He's got like He's definitely got all the other musicians are envious because that is a big boy. Trying to reach down behind this sword here. Find the right spot. And then this is Tetris. Tease a little bit of white right in the very center. Each of these. And then I'm going to get a little bit more white on this tiny, tiny brush. We're just going to make little points of white. just barely touching it. Actually taking some of the paint off of the brush specifically so that I can have it be a little bit less and it can be a little bit gentler. This feels like an appropriate song for the stage of this miniature. Just painting stars on a coat. With a very, very small amount of paint. Just gotta be real gentle because you don't want the bristles to push in. If the bristles push in too much, you're gonna end up with blotches of paint as opposed to tiny dots. And the dots can be different sizes. Like you can have it be super, super tiny, or you can have some of them actually be a little bit bigger. What do you think, Noah? So I'm thinking that will be where I stop for tonight. Thank you all for swinging by. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the raid, Betty. Everybody, if you haven't had a chance, swing over to hers and give her a follow. I know she's off for the evening, but she does lovely work, and she's a lovely person. And then on Tuesday next week, we'll continue with Ham and his coat of stars. We'll finish up his skin and his hair. We'll get on to the pants and the boots. Well, you gotta stop looking away for a second. That's the point. That's where the magic happens in the last couple of seconds. Yeah. So he's getting quite along. Oh. I'm very happy that you're happy. And he's been very fun. And we will do some more work on him next week on Tuesday. I want to make sure that the base comes out well. The boots are looking good. We need some more work on the belts. I need to make sure his shirt a little bit more detailed. I may have to do some shading under that collar. We'll get the skin tone a bit better. I'll highlight the hair. We'll make sure the bow looks good. We'll get to the wood grain on the violin. The fire sword, or the sword that can ignite. So that could be a lot of fun. We'll have some fun there too. And we'll get the trim on the coat taken care of. I'm probably going to go back and do a little black line over that so I can figure out what color I want to do there. But yeah, so far so good. So far so good. How many people we got? Oh, 13. Is there anybody that we'd like to raid tonight? Betty usually gives me the target of opportunity, and at the moment I don't know who to go to. Who is on right now? Let's have a quick check, shall we? Anybody that we know? Yeah, the Dead by Daylight guy is on. Steve summoned. But we rated him in the past. I want to see if I can go into somebody we haven't done before. A small streamer. Anybody I can help along. Oh, I'm so bad. I don't even know. Maybe we will raid Steve. Let's raid Steve. Raid channel. Steve. Dad's first time is on? There he is. I like Dad. Dad's fun. What's he doing? Oh, he's playing Jackbox games. Yeah, let's go raid Dad. Let's just start this a raid.